Hi folks, and welcome to the Filmwork channel. I'm at the Slöjd area at the Naturerlebnis Marine of Hagen again, and I was making a chopping block. Didn't turn out too well. I just made it a makeshift to feel a little bit uh, tired and distracted, so I called it a day, so to say, but I made myself something, and I want to show you what I made, because this is it, um, and it is a sheath for, or should be a sheath for the Trollstein knife I made ages ago. The original was found near Trollsteinen at Landbrain Pass in Norway, and by a project named Secrets of the Ice. I'm a really big fan of those guys, and because they do a really great job under dire circumstances. The glaciers melting, and in order to save whatever historical evidence they can find there, they really work uh, under pressure and do a great job, and they have already discovered a lot of things there that really changed the way we look at the really broad period of history that this glacier had preserved within its depths. Because, well, we all know how it is. You put something somewhere, or you cross a glacier, and there goes your phone, or there goes your knife, or there goes your glove, or what have you. And this is what seems to have happened to a lot of people also in history, and they were not immune to that. And luckily, we must say, because that way we really get a valuable insight into history, and what they also found. This is something I really loved, and immediately fell in love with that. They found a knife, and the Trollstein knife is presumably, I say, it's relatively secure to say that, relatively safe to say that, but there is also always an element of doubt in history, so we cannot know, because we didn't live there. And what they found was a knife from presumably the 6th century AD, and which is a knife that is, well, it is typical of the Roman Iron Age, and even Celtic finds from Hallstatt and Dürnberg in Austria, in the Alps, which is really astonishing, because this must have been in use for a long time, and this shape, and well, and the knife they found was really well preserved up to the birchwood burr handle. The shape of the handle was clearly visible. The tang was not rotten. Everything was in perfect condition. Well, perfect condition as in archaeological finds, not mint condition, obviously. And I immediately fell in love with the design, because it is so organic, and it simply appeals to me because it's beautiful. And actually, I'm also really fond of the fact that it exists, of the historical fact, and well, and this is what I made. This is an interpretation, because think I messed the blade shape up a little bit. I will give you the information on where to find the site of Secret of the Eyes, and so you can look for yourself. The blade shape is not exactly the same. I tried my best to copy it, but I also forged it into shape nearly 100%. So, well, and what I did add is a little brass bolster and a brass disc to pin the tang over. The original had the tang, well, fitted in with no tolerances at all. This is something I found really interesting, because this is something that raises a lot of questions, because the handle, the tang fits that well into the handle that due to the immense load the glacier put on the knife, the glacier bent the tang, but it also bent the handle. It didn't crack. This is a great sign of it being originally really form fitting, and there's a question how they could have possibly done it, and I have the theory, and that's not the truth. That's not the next big thing, but I have the theory that they put on greenwood and burned the tang in. That they didn't pin the tang; they just bent it over, which also speaks in favor of the burning theory, burning the tang hole through. And what the fresh wood would have done then, it would have shrunk around the tang, making for the non-existent tolerances. That way you get a really stable connection between the tang and the handle. Just my 5 cents. I don't know if that came to be. And I forged a blade from ATCR V2, which is an awesome steel, which is rather simple to heat treat, and which can easily be done with an open forge, which I have. And actually, having used it extensively, I'm in love with Prokot and Scandinavian knives, but this one has something that the others don't. It has a high convex bevel, like the original, to almost zero, and the original was possibly even to zero, and the original was almost flat in the grind, and it's, or maybe even flat. Maybe it's a little bit hard to tell because of the corrosion on the blade, which isn't too bad. And I have used this knife extensively now, and also for making this guy here. It's a sheath. And by the way, thanks again, Joao Grillo. Hope that I pronounced it right. I don't talk Portuguese, and there's ways to go still with this one here, and it will get a leather upper, because, well, the handle is awesome, and the original was a little bit straighter than that. I more or less accidentally, because I actually love to have a little bit of feedback where my index finger is. So this is due to my interpretation, and the shape of the handle is very interesting. It is following the original as close as possible, because you get these facets on the back of the handle, and this teardrop shape like you get on many Xerxes. And this is a really awesome concept in order to always know where the edge is, because you always know where the edge is. It's not never a doubt. You never have a doubt where the edge is, and you can turn it over really fast. It's really dexterous that way, and it gives your hand a lot of feedback while not providing any hotspots if you're carving on end. And the high convex bevel makes it better for food prep also, or preparing game or something. And it is a really dexterous knife, and I really would love maybe some Norwegian cooperation. Uh, make a production version, maybe in 14C28 or something. And if you don't, I will. No, but who knows? Need to make some money soon, because not that great a time for me these days. But on the other hand, on the other hand, this is mine, and it's mine, not mine, my precious. It's not necessary. But what I did is I really used it for a lot of tasks, and including making shavings for the fire, or food prep and carving. I made a big part of the sheath with it, and it provides a slender tip for really for drilling, or for really moving through tight spaces, and actually it's a really great handle shape. It reminds me a little bit of the Castrum SFK, which also has sort of leaf fish shape to the blade, and I love the SFK. I really do. But the SFK is also a big beast of a knife. It's really thick and not exactly. It is slicey, but it is not the sliceyest. And if you're and actually, the tang on this one is really robust for what I do, because when I'm battening, I've had to see the point when I first things first, I'm not a survivalist, so that's it. And there might be a time and a place where you need to batten through knotted hardwoods like that. And I got a big one there, and I wouldn't ever batten this knife through a big lump of wood, because if you want to split, you can do it intelligently and sensibly, and well, you're limited to a certain diameter anyway, because it's you need the tip to go all the way through, and so that's about the diameter of the wood you can batten with this. And if you look out for really tough knots, aka branches, branch holes, you'll be really fine. And the tang being like branch, which is not, it is not exactly a stick tang, because at and it was the same on the originals. On the original, the tang was almost as wide as the handle at the bolster, and then tapering. And in engineering you call that a bearing of equal load, because the load it can distribute is the same on each bearing points. So this is rather stable. To put that more simple, if you where is one? Where can I find one? Yeah. If you look at that, already showed that. You see, the branch is obviously tapering, and what this does, if there's a wind, it can move and flex and distribute the stress, so it doesn't break off at a. Look at that. What it does, it rather bends. Then obviously that's not just the shape, but also the fibers that cling together, and so that's a thing with the red tail tang. If you design them intelligently, they can really take a lot of stress, and a lot of modern Pukos are really great in that they offer this design. There are some Pukot that have just some silly stick tang, which is really thin rather thin at the bolster, and remains that way all the way through the handle, which isn't ideal. I understand that, because that way you can simply drill a hole, whack the handle on, and pin it over, and I guess it saves a little bit of production cost. So with this one, you really need to take care to achieve a decent fit on the handle, which really pays off. The less tolerances you have in the handle, the less likely the knife is prone to breakage in the tang or near the bolster, which happens with battoning. Also, the blade has a selective temper, so the only the edge is tempered, and the spine, because I wanted it to work with a 5 steel also. The original seems to be, there's no metallurgical evaluation yet, but I am almost certain that it isn't actually, how do you call that? That's they used a lot of phosphorus steel, and what the phosphorus steel does is, if you cold forge the edges like you would have done with a bronze sword, by the way, or what you would do with a scythe, you could achieve rockwool hardnesses way above what we nowadays use. The steel would also be rather brittle, and if you would temper it, that would be no good, because it would crumble at the least force you applied to it. That's just a theory, by the way. That's not I'm not saying that it was that way, but there are swords from the Iron Age that had edges of phosphorus steel that were cold hammered and achieved a rather decent hardness, not comparable to modern steels, but and they would achieve sort of a selective temper by cold forging the edges. Just a theory. We don't know. There is no metallurgical evidence yet. There's no study about that, and actually people don't often people don't go the length, archaeologists go the length to do a metallurgical study on simple utility knives, because swords are cool, and utility knives for the most part are not. And I would really find that interesting. There are some studies going on, and there are some studies available about medieval knives, and you sometimes they have a rock wool hardness. If I translate that right, if I calculate that right from Vickers to HRC, you would have a hardness of up to 71 HRC in the edge, which is essentially file, a really good file, a really great and well, maybe a lousy cutting implement. And you don't achieve that with the steel at the time by heat treatment. And so there might be a certain possibility that they actually cold forged the edges and the blades were made from phosphorus steel. I don't know. And maybe we will never know because no one funds metallurgical evaluation of simple utility knives. Would make perfect sense if you just got some ingot that was left over from a sword maybe, and you just hammered it into shape and put a handle on, and you could sell it for cheap because not a lot of work in it, and as opposed to a sword which had a much more complex construction. Also the reason why they need a lot more academical research, because the construction was far more complex, for the most part, and but actually we don't know. That's the thing. What I now know is that this is a really great. The steel is really great. I really love it, and oak again. And I did carve a lot with it, and I haven't sharpened it yet, and you can see it's still rather, it's well, I think it's actually still rather adequate. Doesn't you can tell it's no longer fresh because I actually really didn't sharpen it, but shavings aren't too bad. And what I really can say is holds an edge well, is really slicey, really dexterous, and the shape is brilliant, really. It's everything you could wish for in a puko, with everything you could wish for in a hunting knife, combined in a really great package for just about everything. And this is most certainly not the last thing I made that way. There are also some examples from Hallstatt and from a far earlier age that look similar to it, and I want to try my hand at those two because they are a little bit more complex in the layout and a little bit more blingy because they got these awesome bronze rings, and just found some bronze rings in woods and need to make a knife with them. And still got some ATCRV too, and maybe that's what I want to do next. Maybe I can even show you a video of of the process. And well, the thing is really falling in love with the design. And so now I'm the problem with the sheath was, and I was always already told you that in another video, that I perfectly understand why said hunter or whatever it was, or whoever it was who lost the knife. I know why they lost it, because thinking with the handle design, while it is really offering a good feedback for your hand and everything, it also has one flaw, that you need your sheath to be really well fitting, and well, it's a pain in the ass to get a sheath that keeps the knife in. So that's the fourth try I have with making a sheath for it, because it's just so complicated. It's not not keeping the blade in, and because the blade is wider than the handle there, I didn't want to modify it because I wanted to stay close to the original. So that's I already made a leather sheath, and nothing wrong with that. But look at that, it just fails to keep the knife in, and I did my best to hotbox it. Maybe I will add some brass or bronze sheet to really clamp it in, but then this style of sheath was not period, and at least not for utility knives, and this is really difficult to make a sheath that keeps the knife in, and that's still allows you to take it out, because if you make a weld that follows the edge, then you are also in for a problem, because you would cut through the weld, and that doesn't get you anywhere. So that's still a process, and I think I already messed up again with that sheath here, because well, the thing is, I made this after the tutorial by Joao Grillo, which is awesome for Moras, for instance. But on the Mora, the blade is smaller than the handle, shallower than the handle, and you can't. You need to make this part wider. So if you would make a leather collar now, the leather collar would have to go smaller, but then you get the problem that you will cut through it again. So it's driving me mad. And I don't want to make Kydex sheath or anything, or with some fancy locking mechanisms or something, because they wouldn't have done it, and drives me mad. Anyway, actually, I don't want to complain too much, because actually it's fun, and making stuff is always a good thing, and I like that, and so it's the journey, and I just wished I could carry it, because it's the one knife. It's the knife that just feels right, and well, that said, thanks for bearing with me, thanks for my nerdism again, and thanks for watching, and I like a thumbs up and a sub as much as the next guy, but well, isn't absolutely necessary, but welcome to the channel if you're new. And I hope you enjoy the forest, that you stay sane and healthy, and don't take everything too serious, because if you get the impression that people got mad, I think you are right. So, but there are things that are not mad, and these things are maybe found in the forest, or in making something, making things grow, and caring for each other, look out for each other, watch out for each other, and take care and be kind. I think that would solve a lot of problems. So that said, I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye.